Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lucia and this is Lulu's Leaves. Today's video is going to be really fun. I am going to be talking to you guys all about my tiniest houseplants. While you might be thinking, why would you buy tiny houseplants? Well, it's because you can have a lot of them. And you guys know I love to collect houseplants. So buying tiny houseplants is definitely a way that you can save space and money and still get the plants that you want. So if you want to find out what my favorite tiny plants are and which ones I have, definitely continue watching today's video. If you can watch it all the way through to the end, that's also super helpful. It's also super awesome if you can give this video a thumbs up and subscribe down below. I also have YouTube memberships if you're interested. We have a small tight-knit community over on Discord where you guys get to chat with me all day long and it's so much fun. So if that sounds like something that you are interested in, definitely click the first link in the description down below or the join button if you can see it. But yeah, that's going to be all the blabbing for me. Leave your favorite emoji down below in the comments and let's get straight on into today's video. So the first houseplant is actually one that I don't know the name of, but I will put the name of all the plants on the screen for you guys so that you know, because some of these are a little bit more uncommon, so I don't expect you to know every last one of them. So yeah, let's start off with this little mini orchid. This is an orchid that I purchased last year in the summertime. It is one from Kim's Nature. I believe they still carry this orchid, but it's a really fun one. It hasn't grown a ton for me, I'll say that. I don't think it's grown much at all, but I think it's really cute and compact if you're looking for a small plant that isn't going to grow a ton and has blooms every once in a while. This guy is the one for you. I absolutely love this plant and I love the little pot that I have it in. I just love mini pots, no matter what they are, even if they're nursery pots, I love them. And I love the kind of stacking pattern that it has. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if this genus of orchid has that type of pattern in all of its other species within the genus. Sorry, that's a mouthful. But I do think that this one's really cool, and if I see any others that are like this but not the exact same, I will probably pick it up because this one has just been so easy. One of the most difficult things about having smaller plants is that usually they're in smaller pots, which means they have to be watered more often because soil in a 2-inch pot dries out a lot faster than it does in a 4 or even 12-inch pot. So with that being said, this one can withstand not being watered too often. It doesn't mind going quite a while with dry soil. That is definitely a bonus with this plant because it's really easy to kill small plants. You'll see in one of these other plants that one of them I do have a little bit of difficulty taking care of. Next up is a plant that I actually just got the other day and I am so excited about it. It's a really, really cute plant, and while I did say that I didn't want this plant because it was expensive, I was actually gifted this plant, so I really do appreciate that. And it's also a little mini guy, which is even cuter. So I'll just show you. I am talking about this Mandula Pothos. I said I didn't want it, but I caved and all of a sudden it's the only thing that I wanted. So I finally have a really, really cute little guy here and I can't wait for it to get a little bit bigger. But right now it is one of my tiniest plants. So yeah, I do think that I want to eventually repot this one into a clear pot. It is in a nursery pot that's just sitting inside of my IKEA greenhouse cabinet insert here. So because of that, I haven't really felt the need to upgrade it to a clear pot, but I will be doing that if I decide to take it out of the greenhouse, or at least out of this container within the greenhouse. I can't get over how beautiful the marbling in the leaves is. It's very easy to tell the difference, in my opinion, between this and, let's say, an Enjoy or Pearls and Jade Pothos. I just think this one has more sectoral variegation. Actually, not more than the Pearls and Jade, but there are definitely a few different colors within it and like some gray tones that really set it apart from the other two. And typically, similar to like a Philodendron Brazil, they do have that white down the center rather than just kind of random, more so like a, what would be like that? I don't know, like a golden pothos. But there's definitely some more sectoral variegation on this, and it is centered usually. Yeah, this one won't stay tiny forever, but it's definitely really, really cute and deserves to be a part of this tiny plants video, at least for now. Next up is one that I actually grew all by myself. This was a little tiny node when I first propagated it, and now it's looking so, so cute. I'm talking about my little Philodendron painted lady here. You guys know these plants get really, really big eventually. This isn't one that's going to stay small, so if you're looking for a plant that's gonna stay like that, this is not the one. But I just thought it definitely deserved to be a part of my mini plants video, or my tiniest plants, because it's freaking tiny. For example, like this is my hand here, and it's not even as long as one of my fingers, but I just think this one is so adorable, and I love seeing these larger plants in miniature forms. I don't know what it is about it, but I love a good mini plant. You can still see the variegation is looking really nice on this one. So, I mean, it's definitely resembling its larger mother plant. But yeah, I was actually going to trade this plant at one point before it even had leaves. I was just gonna trade the node with a growth point. And now I don't think I can, because I'm just attached to this little tiny baby plant. I don't know, if someone's interested, I probably will end up trading this for maybe a common plant. It's definitely not worth much at this size, probably $20, but I love it. And I think it's just so adorable and cute. This next plant is not looking the greatest, I will admit. This is one of the plants that I find dries out the quickest, just because it is in a 2-inch pot and it doesn't necessarily love its life. I have had this plant for at least a year now, and it has done absolutely nothing. It tried, but then it failed. So I'm talking here about my Hoya Davidummings, I believe it is, or David Cummings. I can't remember which one this is. Again, it is really cute, and I've seen really nice versions of this plant, but it just does not want to grow well for me. And I don't know if that's because I'm just not watering it well enough, or maybe it needs a different pot, I don't know. I have always kept it out in the open. This one has never been in a greenhouse. And honestly, I probably could have put it in my cabinet under a grow light and it would have done something, but I'm just not in love with this plant enough to give it that VIP spot in my cabinet. Maybe if I do end up getting a second cabinet for my Hoyas and stuff like that, I will put this guy in there. But for now, it's just looking really wrinkly and not the greatest. So that is my Hoya David Cummings, I believe, or Cummingii. We'll just have to wait and see with this one. I think it's gonna take a long time, or it might be dead. I don't know. Look at the stem. Is that just dead? Should I just give up? I always see people in Europe just coming across these, and they're a dime a dozen, and they're giant. So maybe I just need to give up and find a larger specimen that's already established. Sorry, not sorry, but we're definitely on a little bit of a Hoya train. You guys know this is one of my favorite Hoyas in my collection. This here is my little Hoya Serpens. That's what it is. It's really hard to appreciate how adorable these guys are over the camera, but hopefully this camera is doing a good job of picking up how freaking adorable this is. It's got the cutest little fuzzy, very textured leaves, and it's starting to trail for me too. I think this plant will always be in my tiniest plants collection because of the size of the leaves. This plant I'm so proud of though. It did start off as just 2 leaves, and over the course of the past probably 6 months, I've been able to get it to this size. I think this plant really loves me, and that's awesome because not a lot of plants really truly love me, and I think this one does. So yeah, that is my Hoya Serpens. I love it so much, and if you can find one, I totally recommend them. They're really not that difficult, and they're super duper cute. All right, we're going to go to the second last plant, and then we will go back to the last Hoya. But the next tiny plant that I have to show you is this adorable little cactus that I have. I got this around Christmas time during my 12 days of nursery tours. This was from Kim's Nature as well. I think it is one of the coolest cacti that I have. I don't have many, but if I had them all, this would be one of my favorites. They have a few others. I really like the Obesa varieties, but this was as close as I could get, and I still think it's really cool, especially since it's nice and spiky. I do think that this plant has mealybugs. I can't really see them very well, but I do have a feeling they're hiding. I don't know if you can see on that spike there, there's a little fuzzy thing, and I'm pretty sure that that's a mealybug. This one does stay pretty separate from my more expensive rare plants, so I'm not super worried. Mealybugs don't scare me a ton, to be honest. Most pests are quite easy to get rid of, and I've had my fair share of dealing with them, so I'm pretty confident in my ability to get rid of pests. But yeah, this plant is still very, very cute. Cacti are just prone to getting mealybugs, so that's something that you're probably going to have to deal with if you are a cactus lover. I'm glad that I moved it over to terracotta. It's probably a little bit big for this plant, but considering I don't water it much at all, it's gonna be just fine in here. All right, well, last but not least is my favorite Hoya right now. Actually, I don't think it's my favorite Hoya, but it's one that I've been wanting for a long time, and I finally got one, and it's growing really, really well for me, but it's very tiny at the moment. This here is my Hoya Linearis. You can see that tiny baby little new growth. How adorable is all of that? This plant is currently in my cabinet, just living its best life. I think it's really, really happy in there and obviously appreciates the sun. I don't know if these guys get sun stressed at all, but the leaves are coming out a little bit darker than these ones, so maybe they just come in and fade to this lighter green color. But I do really love this plant, and I can't wait for it to be trailing. These guys are also prone to mealybugs though, so I really want to make sure that I'm on top of that and checking it all the time, but very, very cute. I was also gifted this plant, so I didn't have to pay for it, which was really, really nice. And I just have it rooting in perlite here, and it seems to be doing really well. Obviously, it is rooting because we have some new growth, and typically Hoyas won't grow until there are some roots. So yeah, guys, that is all for my tiny houseplants video. I really hope you guys did enjoy it. Don't forget to leave even an emoji in the comments down below. That really, really helps me out. Any comment you want to leave does. And also, if you want to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe down below. Again, super duper helpful for my channel. And don't forget to check out memberships if you are interested. But that's going to be all for today's video. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye, guys.